times I've been to New York City. I've probably been to New York City, hundreds of times, but almost all of them were as a kid. So it's always interesting that I come now as an adult and I don't really know anything but what I sort of project onto the city from my childhood, when I first started coming.
Excuse me.
I'm Chris Salerno. We're here in Midtown at Christmas time. I've got a new chapbook of poems out. It's called ATM, out from Horseless Press, and also a new full-length book of poems called Minimum Heroic from the Mississippi Review Poetry Series. Doing some readings here in the city. I just moved back to Jersey, the place where I grew up, after about 15 years living down in North Carolina. And, so, coming back to the city at the height of the tourist season, check it out, see what's changed. It doesn't look like too much has changed. It's still busy. As a tourist, as a kid, from Jersey, it's like, New York was almost like the sort of phototropic thing where, your consciousness was always bending toward the city, and the sort of magic of the city. But you weren't living there. You don't have it every day. It was like I said, a special occasion, and so it was something you went to for a little while, had an experience, and then went back and sort of thought about it, I guess. I was talking about my first memory of New York City, about how my mom sort of led us to some place we were driving. She was jazzed up about some cheese shop or something, and we were sort of double parked, and we're sitting on a side street, and I was like maybe 7, 8 years old, and I remember I was staring out the window and looking out the building or looking at the street. And down the street, 2 men with guns drawn, running down the street after each other. And I thought, wow, that's something beyond anything I can comprehend at this point. But I still have that image in my mind. It's like the first memory of New York City that I can remember. Inside this church, is it St. Thomas Church? Trying to talk a little bit about screwed up, sorry. Is it St. Thomas or St. Timothy?
I don't know.
I feel like I should know. I don't want to get it wrong. St. Thomas. So, we've come to St. Thomas Church Cathedral in Midtown, Manhattan. And This is a poem from Minimum Heroic. It's called Exit. If the blind need nudging. The whole city is cross. The cuffs of its jacket still taste of tornado. Over the hilltops, our toys tiptoe back to the factory. Earlier I said, I find comfort in gossip. But nothing happens here beyond right and riddance. The dog takes the leash in his mouth. A bottle rocket lay in the snow. A canary lay in the snow. I dreamt my father, uncle, brother were throwing pies at a bear. But there's no pie in the ivy. No snowball in the sentence. No teeth coming down. If only as awake, I sometimes say day and mean delay.
We're at the roommate guest hotel. We've stolen our way back into to the mezzanine bar area of the roommate guest hotel, where we're getting some sketchy looks, but the lighting is good, and the films are old, and the pool is 3 feet 9 inches deep, and we're making the best of it. I think urban landscapes, like any landscapes, for my work, I think they offer something that I'm obsessed with lately is the idea of size and scale, or proportions. I think that there's a moment at which the landscape, something in the landscape, buildings, skyline, bridge. There's a moment at which that the size of it, as you approach it, it exceeds the size of your person, and it ends up moving you in a way. I'm obsessed with that moment at which something that's so large, like the Empire State Building or the George Washington Bridge, as you approach it, it kind of makes yourself go away. I think that there's a moment where the ego sort of recedes in the face of something so giant like Times Square. When you look up at some buildings, you suddenly feel so small, and you kind of lose yourself. I'm obsessed with that, and I'm trying to find more ways to find that in my own poems. That idea of proportionality, I guess, drives some of my newest work.
Back on the train.
Back on the train.
Going back to New Jersey.
Going back to New Jersey. Getting warm. Get back to the suburbs. So I'm sure I'll be back before too long.